Hey, welcome back to the Club Junkie Podcast. Hopefully, having a great week. Happy Masters Week. It is Masters Thursday, the start of the tournament. Super excited. You know, I was up at 7:30 in the morning to watch honorary starters. Always do. I absolutely love that tradition. It makes me a little teary-eyed sometimes, especially that time with Arnie after he had passed and they set his coat on the chair. There was some damp eyes over here. So I absolutely love everything about the Masters. Before we get into today's episode, I just want to let you know it is brought to you by Titleist and Team Titleist. So we're excited to share with you guys exclusive opportunities from Titleist, but to be a part of them, you have to join Team Titleist. Team Titleist gives you access to opportunities like prototype testing, special events, limited edition gear from Titleist, and so much more. Sign up and join us on Team Titleist at www.titleist.com/Team Titleist, all one word, Team Titleist. And yeah, listen, it's not just it's not just a name. It's a community of golfers just like us. You know, they've created this community to connect us to product experts, host events, and provide opportunities like prototype testing. You know, when you see on social media, people show off their white box full of unmarked Pro V1 and Pro V1X or whatever golf balls. You can be part of that testing if you are a member of Team Titleist. So go to Titleist.com/Team Titleist and sign up today. So happy Masters Thursday. I'm recording this on Wednesday, of course, because, I'm not going to record this while watching the Masters. I'm actually recording it right now in the afternoon as I watch the par 3 contest. So watching that, I always love it. It's a whole lot of fun. I think, especially as you watch it now with a lot of these younger players who are now, fathers and all that. You see their families and all that. You kind of like sit there and go, oh, man, it'd be kind of cool if me and my kid were out there or, whatever. And so it's kind of fun to watch and exciting to see. Everybody's having a good time, and then tomorrow the real stuff starts. Like get down to business and let's go. So this is a whole lot of fun. I love the par 3 contest. I'm going to continue watching this the rest of the afternoon, and then I'll probably watch a bunch of live from the Masters tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to be up and watching. I don't tell my boss, but I don't get a ton of work done on Thursdays and Fridays. Because I am typically watching golf. So I think it's a decent excuse, but hey, it's what it is. I went to the Masters in 2016 on a practice round for a Tuesday. I want to go back really, really, really bad. It's just one of those things where it was such a special time. It was such a special experience, and being there was just so cool. So I want to go back really badly, and hopefully one of these years they'll pick my name out of the lottery. But we'll see. Who knows? So, excited to hopefully one day go back and enjoy, a day walking around that place, trying different food, doing all the stuff, because it's a whole lot of fun. So, anyway, today we got a great episode. I'm going to talk about the brand new Callaway drivers, the Elite Triple Diamond Max and the Elite Triple Diamond TD. I'm going to talk a little bit about maybe my what's in the bag. After I'm going to talk about those in just a second. And then I might do a little of kind of where my head's at for what's in the bag, because next week starts Men's League. Thursday night Men's League. We're back, baby. It's going to be freezing. It's going to kind of probably be miserable, but I'm excited it's starting up. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun one. But I'm one of those people that no matter when I go play, whether I'm just going to play like a Saturday morning round with some fellas or whatever, my league, a somewhat serious match, which I don't really play that much anymore. But any of those things, I typically agonize over my what's in the bag, and it goes through many iterations in my head. And as I put things in, I take things out, and it just takes me a while. So we'll talk a little bit about where my head's at after we talk about the drivers. But it's an exciting day. I'm in a great mood. So we'll talk about the brand new Callaway Elyte Triple Diamond Max and Elite Triple Diamond TD, which stands for Tour Draw model. So these just got released a few weeks ago. If you haven't listened to it, I did a podcast just on Golf WX Radio with Jacob Davidson of Callaway Golf. He works with a lot of the tour folks over there, and we did a little deep dive into these two drivers as well as the Elite Mini, and it's definitely worth a listen. Jacob breaks down a little bit of like how these came to light, the tech in them, what they're meant for, kind of what they do, and how they compare to each other, and the other and the standard Triple Diamond that's already been out for a while. So go listen to that one. I think it's a really good one. And then, we jumped on here. So really excited to get these in my hands. I mean, I played a lot of Paradigm AI Smoke Max last year. So I was really excited to see the Elite Triple Diamond Max because I thought it was a great head. It was a good blend of, kind of, controlled spin, somewhat higher launch and forgiveness compared to the Triple Diamond before it. And then the Tour Draw was very, very interesting to me. It was kind of the one, once I saw that it came out, I definitely wanted to hit it, even though I'm not typically a guy who draws the ball. I mean, I typically draw the ball already. I definitely wanted to hit this thing because it's just kind of cool that they're building, a Triple Diamond tour head that's built for kind of a draw. And I think there's a good spot for both these things. So we'll start with, and it's interesting because how Jacob describes these things as the Triple Diamond Tour Draw is probably the lowest spinning head in their lineup. It's got a slightly different face progression than the standard Triple Diamond, and it's built for players who want to see a starting line that's maybe just a hair left of the Triple Diamond, of the Elite Triple Diamond, and maybe want to see that ball kind of fall to the left. It's not built as a full-blown draw driver. It's not going to like draw 20 yards or anything like that. It's just, they basically went out on tour, did some research, kind of saw how they were setting up some of these drivers. And for a lot of players, they were taking some of the fade out of the AI Smoke Triple Diamond. So figured, why not make something that's more draw bias for those players who don't need it, who need it or want it out on tour, and figured, why not release that part out to the public as well. And then the Elite Triple Diamond Max is just like last year's AI Smoke Triple Diamond Max, where you're basically blending the low spin and more neutral to slightly fade properties of the Triple Diamond with a slightly larger footprint and more forgiveness. So a little bit spinnier than the Triple Diamond. It kind of fits in between Elite and Elite Triple Diamond. It kind of fits right in there in terms of spin, launch, and forgiveness. So it kind of is that in-betweener for that player who maybe tries both and can't find the the perfect fitting glass slipper. This one could be it, but both of them definitely a little bit smaller audience than the traditional, say, Elite and some of those. But still, I think a lot of golfers out there who will find one of these drivers, something that's useful in their bag or fits their swing the best. So, yeah, the Elite Triple Diamond Max. This is the first one we'll kind of talk about. Been hitting this a little bit here. Got some of the numbers on it, and then also just overall hitting it. And in terms of looks, I really like the look. So it's definitely got a slightly bigger profile. When you set it down, the footprint's just a little bit bigger, but they did the nice thing and they kept it very Triple Diamond. It is the all glass black top, so you're not going to see any of that thermal forged carbon on there. No alignment aid on the top as well, so no little chevron up there for the alignment aid. Very clean, very good look. When you set it down at address, this is a 9-degree head and it looks pretty much dead square. I know with sometimes the Elites and some of the standard drivers, they can look just a hair shut. And then also you look at like some of the Triple Diamonds and they're like wide open. This sits very, very square at address. So the look from it is very, very good. It definitely is slightly stretched out, but it doesn't have any like kind of the funkiness. I know AI Smoke kind of had it, especially with some of the more forgiving models, had a kind of a funkier shape between where the heel was. It felt like it was almost like had a little curvature to it. This one here, definitely a little bit more rounded, very Callaway, but very, very good look to it. Face height on it is pretty standard. These two are pretty close. I would say the Triple Diamond Tour Draw is maybe just a hair taller face, hair deeper there, because it is the smaller shape like the standard Triple Diamond when you look down on it. A little bit more compact, not quite as in a sense stretched out, but overall a little bit smaller profile than the Triple Diamond TD and Triple Diamond. But the Max, a little bit bigger, still has the two movable weights in it. So it's got this one here, 4-gram front, 9-gram back, and you can flop those around. You can take the heavier weight, move it forward, take some spin off, and then keep the heavy weight back and keep the maximum amount of forgiveness in it. So I think the looks of it really good. The sole of it looks identical. The silver, a little bit of green, the carbon. But everything else kind of looks just like the standard, a standard Elite model as you thought it should. Sound and feel, very good. Very much just like the Elite. Like hitting these two next to each other, didn't really notice a difference in terms of sound and feel. Very similar sound, that same kind of, you get a metallic sound out of the Elite line, but it's kind of muted. A little bit of a crack built into there. Very similar here. The sound is good. Even hitting it indoors, in a launch monitor, it's definitely not loud. It's not as quiet as a Ping G440, but it's definitely not loud either. It's a kind of a muted sound, really, really good. If you've hit the Elite and you like the sound and feel of that, this is going to be similar in terms of that sound and feel. So sound and feel really good. And then hitting it. Yeah, I mean, the Triple Diamond Max, interesting enough. So these are, like I said, described as Triple Diamond TD being the lowest spinning head in the line, The max is going to be kind of the highest spinning of the triple diamonds, of the 3 triple diamonds that are available at retail. And a little bit different for me, a little bit swapped. And that's the thing, like that's the cool thing with hitting gear, is that sometimes these kind of things kind of jump out and they're just different than what they should be. On paper, it should be this. It's much like the Mitsubishi Diamante WB, the whiteboard, the new one. I don't hit that super low. That kind of flies a little bit higher for me. Where the Elite Triple Diamond Max, actually launched a little bit lower and spun a little bit less than the Triple Diamond Tour Draw. And then also when you look at the dispersion chart, or when I look at the dispersion chart from when I hit the 2, it is interesting that the Tour Draw was actually, when you look at the dispersion kind of ovals, had more shots a little bit more on the right side of the starting line than the standard max. So I tended to fade the max a little bit, or the triple diamond TD a little bit more than I faded the max, which is exactly opposite of what it should do on paper. But that's why you hit stuff, because you just never know. So for me, the triple diamond max I thought was actually a really good driver. I thought I was hitting it fairly well, very straight. And what they say with having a very straight neutral starting line, it definitely did. I mean, everything I hit was shots that went out straight, had a little bit of draw to them, which is kind of a normal shot for me. And then recently, as I've kind of tweaked a few things in the swing, I have been able to see kind of a little bit of the right side of the course as well. But I was able to see kind of both. I was able to see that ball, that kind of my standard kind of draw shape, and then as well balls that not really faded so much for me. I kind of just leave the face open and they're just straight right of target. But I saw kind of a good mix between the two out of all my shots. I would actually say, if I counted up, all the dots and where they landed on the bird's eye view, I would say maybe 2 balls more to the right. And by 2 balls, I mean like 2 of them are like literally like almost on the line, in terms of the right side of the line. So for me, very, very neutral. I thought this is a driver that, if you're a person who you draw it or you fade it, you're going to see that this thing here is easy to hit. It's not going to promote one or the other. Now, you can take the hosel, make it upright, and force it to draw just a little bit more. Or you can just leave it neutral. But, I thought performance on this was very neutral in terms of ball flight. Everything started out, seemed to be starting out very straight. When I looked at also kind of the, I think when you look at, what do you call it? I took it off there now. But TrackMan had kind of the right and lefts. It was kind of a little bit of both, and it wasn't just like, oh, you hit 6 draws in a row and then you came back and faded a couple. It was kind of a mix of back and forth a little bit between the two, but very neutral, very easy to hit, hit it straight. And for me, hitting it straight with a little bit of draw, produce some really, really nice drives. Easy to elevate. It was interesting. I didn't hit it. And I think part of this too, because this is a 9-degree head, so it came in a little bit lower than Triple Diamond Tour Draw. I think if this was in a 10.5, it would probably launch a little bit higher than Tour Draw, but it was about 0.5 degree lower, being 1.5 degrees lower on the head. It launched about 0.5 degree lower overall when I was kind of all said and done with my range session. So, but yeah, easy to hit, very straight, very neutral. I thought the miss hits were really good. I mean, when I look at the ball speed numbers, they really stay really consistent. I was striking it decently, kind of, in the pretty center to slightly high on the face, but wasn't catching a lot of low heel ones with this driver. It was very easy to square up, very easy to hit, hit straight, and the ball speed on the face, very good across the face. When I look at kind of the numbers, and you just start kind of looking at all of them, I mean, you're not fluctuating. You're seeing, maybe 5 miles an hour between the best and worst shots, but really, really tight in terms of ball speed. And I don't hit it in the center every time. You guys know I don't. So, I mean, everything around there was really straight. So ball speed on miss hits, really solid. Center strikes, it's really, really fast. Saw a lot of good smash factors at, 148s, 149s, and stuff like that. I averaged on this one a 149, which was pretty crazy. Again, I don't take out a lot of bad shots. I mean, unless they're absolutely horrible, I don't take them out. I leave pretty much everything good in there. And yeah, saw a lot of 148s, 147, 14. I think the lowest one on there is a 146, but a lot of 148s, 149s, and pretty much all through the thing. So really, really solid in terms of ball speed on there. No matter where you kind of hit it on the face, it keeps up a lot of speed. The other thing that was interesting is in terms of dispersion on this guy. Dispersion is pretty solid. I tell you what, my miss normally now has kind of been low heel. I used to hit it really high off the toe, and that was my big draw. But now I kind of catch it a little lower on the face and low heel when I'm not catching it. When I don't hit it on the center. And the big thing there was spin numbers didn't really jump. There was a decent amount. I mean, it went from some of the big draws. 2190 was probably the lowest spin I had on there. Oh, I'm sorry, 2074 was the lowest spin I had on there. That was probably the most furthest left ball I hit. And the funny thing is, it still had like a 148 smash factor, so it ran forever. I think that game had like 50 yards of roll on it. But 2074 was the lowest, and I did have one ball that got over 3,000 at 3091. So, and that was the furthest right ball that I hit with this thing, and also the highest at 101 feet peak height. Had the highest launch out of everything at 14.5. So that ball was just like a high right shot that just came out that way. So it spun a little bit. So 1,000 RPM between best and worst shots is typically a little bit higher than I think I've seen with some other drivers. But everything else in there kind of stayed, right in those kind of mid 2000s between basically 25 and 2,800. So when you look at like my total spin, average out of all the shots was 2604. So 2,604. So not bad. I mean, that's pretty much for my ball speed where I probably should live. And typically, do when I'm striking it well. But the spin number is really, really consistent, and that low heel shot, even when I got out there, didn't spin like crazy. And even that shot that was 3091, it actually still carried okay, and still had a decent descent angle and stuff like that. It wasn't a bad shot at all. I mean, it would have been in the rough, and depending on the hole at Bella Vista, maybe in the woods. But it wasn't a horrible shot, and it actually carried further than I thought it would. So a pretty decent, showing that the ball speed on those mishits, especially low heel, hold up pretty darn well, and then they move pretty well. And then the same thing, the ball speed on that toe shot was really, really good as well. It was fast. The launch definitely dropped down. It was like 10.7 degrees. So it definitely came down, and my attack angle was like 4. So that was interesting. And that ball only went like 5 feet in the air, which is a little bit of a bummer. But again, those shots there, I mean, when you look at, again, like the dispersion, I mean, that one right shot, yeah, that one probably, that's going to flirt with OB. But the ones on the left were actually pretty darn good and would have probably stayed in bounds, or would have been in bounds and probably would have almost stayed in the fairway, if not just been in the rough with those toe shots. So extremely stable, or extremely good on ball speed mishits and how fast they go and how far they go. Really impressed with that. And then in terms of stability, I thought, honestly, really stable. I think it is a more forgiving triple diamond head. It's, again, when I look at, the shots that are left, I don't have anything that's super hard going left, runs out of bounds, just goes a mile. Like those stayed there. When I hit them off the heel, they did go a little bit more right. I felt like the right miss was a little bit further than the left miss, which for me is exact opposite. Usually that toe miss is just super uncontrollable and gone off the planet. For me, I felt like that one was actually a little bit more controlled. Maybe it's because this has a little bit more spin, or on paper has a little bit more spin than the Triple Diamond Tour Draw. But this thing, the Max, was extremely stable. Like I said, other than kind of like one ball for sure, if I'm playing Bella Vista on a lot of holes, probably would have been in the woods and gone. The other ones, I think the next furthest right ball was probably in play. I think it would have been fine. I think it would have been just in the rough and been able to hit it out of there. The rest of them, honestly, were all pretty solid and in play. Like I said, I probably favored the right just a hair more. And everything on the left, like I said, I didn't have one that was crazy left. I think there was one I deleted that I actually just, came down over the top on it and smothered it left. But it was, one of those that had like a 200-yard carry and, went 100 yards left. So that one I'm going to take away and not put the numbers in. But in terms of the shots that were, I'll call them, C or better on my grading scale, are all, pretty much in play. And a lot of courses around here that are much more wide open in terms of tree line. Even that kind of further shot to the right would have been in play. So the stability on it really, really good. You don't have to be perfect with this head. Is it as stable as, say, like Elite X? No, I don't think it's as straight as that. When I played Elite X, that thing just, it just does. It basically takes a lot of the right side out. Like you just don't have to worry about it. You just turn it over and it just doesn't go right. This one here is going to allow that player to kind of fade it or draw it if you want to work it, or if you're somebody who just, needs a little spin control and wants that, still needs that forgiveness, you're going to get that too. But yeah, everything pretty much starts right. And then, for me, leaving the face just slightly open and hitting one a little bit right, or I mean the path coming in and hitting one a little bit right. Those balls go right, but they didn't fade a ton. They had a little bit of curve to them, a little bit of fade. They would kind of fall to the right, but they weren't things that you saw a big old push to the right. They kind of just went straight out, fell to the right, and would have fallen in kind of the rough, or just maybe caught a bit of the fairway out there on the right side. So like I said, stability on this one really good. I think it is forgiving. Maybe not so much as Elite or Elite X in terms of how straight it wants to go. But I think also the player who, might want to work the ball a little bit, hit a little bit of a draw and a little bit of fade, this head is going to allow you to do that because it is very neutral. It doesn't seem to have a bias to it. I was able to hit shots on both sides of the fairway, both sides of the start line. And when I hit it really well, the best shots went down dead straight and just kind of fell to the left just a touch. So the Max definitely forgiving. And like I said, ball speed on those miss hits still really good. So I think overall, just shots that you don't hit well, you can get away with this head. And it's not as demanding as the standard Elite Triple Diamond. You're just going to get a little bit more out of it. It would be interesting on this one, like I said, spinning it less than the TD. I was thought maybe like, I'll just have to move the heavyweight forward. But this one, I don't think I would have to do that with. So really like this thing a lot. And again, so I'll go through numbers. Carry number with the Max, 241.7 was my average. It was just actually a yard shorter than the Triple Diamond. Spin 2604. Ball speed down at 149.4 with this one. And it's funny, I hit this one a little bit shorter, but I had better ball speed with it. And I had better spin. I think it was just honestly launch-wise. I think this one I launched just a little bit lower than the tour draw. Again, I think this with a 10.5 head, I think it would be better than the Triple Diamond Tour draw for me. But again, 149.4, launch 12.4 was my average. And that was pretty consistent. Like I said, 10.7 was, I think, the lowest. And I did have one at 14.5, that high rider. Everything else in between there rode around that kind of 12 to 13 area. So 12.4 is the average and apex of 86 feet. So a little flatter ball with this one. Again, I think because of 9 degree, I'm going to try to turn it up to 10 and see what that does, because I did experiment with it. It looks pretty good. This thing sits pretty square. I set it to the +1 neutral setting, and it actually looked really good. Looked dead square. So I'm going to try it in that, see if that just adding a little bit of launch can add a few more yards to it, because it worked really well. But yeah, 148 smash factor was kind of my average there. So yeah, really a solid showing with the Triple Diamond Max. Really impressed with it. In terms of, I know I was playing the Elite X, where I took that out first. This one here, definitely something that I think will give that a run for the money, but it's really solid, stable. I really like this head a whole lot. Now, with the other one, the Triple Diamond TD, the Tour Draw, it is definitely one that I was looking to try. I didn't, like I said, I don't typically need help drawing the ball, but it again was meant as the kind of slightly left, slightly more draw version of the standard Triple Diamond. And this one here, same thing, 4 gram, 9 gram weights in the bottom of this one, a little bit more compact. And I was kind of excited to hit it because, the Tour Draw just sounded very interesting to me. I actually hit it, I'll say fairly well. I didn't hit it as well as the Max for whatever reason. I was decent in terms of strikes on there. I wasn't quite as good in terms of strikes as the Triple Diamond Max. I didn't hit it quite as well, but for whatever reason, was still actually able to have a slightly longer carry number with it by like a yard. But this thing, interesting enough for me, was more fade bias for me than the Triple Diamond Max. I hit this, and when I look at my dispersion chart there, majority of my shots were on to right of target. I think I had maybe 2 balls on the left side of the straight line for TrackMan. Everything else was basically right of target, and for whatever reason, I just didn't square this up as well. Now both clubs, again, this is a 10.5, but both clubs I was hitting the Artero Blue 65 stiff in there. That's what I just swapped the 2 shafts and was hitting it with the same shaft. But this one here, even though it's supposed to be a tour draw driver and have a start line that's a little more left, I actually hit it more right. I just had a little bit more trouble squaring this one up, and I'm not 100% sure why. It felt good through the swing. I didn't feel like it was, heavier or harder to square, whatever. It just, everything was a little more right, and I saw actually a little more like fade type curvature to the ball with the triple diamond, which it just shows you that's why you should go hit stuff, because on paper, I shouldn't do that. This should be left to target, and that's what you should see. Didn't see it. It was opposite for me. And being the lowest spinning head, it actually spun a little more than the triple diamond max by about almost 300 RPM. So, and a lot of that, the 300 RPM is because most of the balls were right at target. They were all fade shots. But the tour draw, I faded the ball with, which was very, very interesting. But yeah, this thing sound, or looks from address looks great. It's the compact triple diamond shape. When you set it down, looks really good. Sits definitely, very, very square. If not just a hair open in terms of look. I think most good players are really going to like the look of this thing. Very, very classic, very compact. Sits behind the ball well. Sound and feel, much like the Max, sound and feels really good. It's got that metallic sound with that little bit of crack to it. Definitely not loud, still muted. Both sounded, pretty much the same. And then, in terms of performance, that was the first thing I noticed was, one, I hit so many balls to the right, and it was just interesting. Like I said, same shaft, all that. It was just, I didn't square it up as easily. I kind of, maybe either got over the top on it, but I look at club path between the two, and I'm pretty much the same. Club path was 8.3 with the triple diamond tour draw, 8.5 with the with the max. So I mean, I was pretty much identical between those two. Attack angle, I was actually a little bit shallower with this at 2.8 compared to 3.6. So I mean, the swing stuff, I'd have to go again. I'm looking at this like through the web browser, so it's hard to see every single piece of data. Now face angle, I don't know. I'd have to go look and see what face angle on was between the two, but they weren't horribly different swings. But this one, again, just I was struggling to keep it straight and hit it, left of target. Everything was a little bit right. A couple of good draws there, but other than that, the thing performed really well. It was just, like I said, a little bit spinnier because I hit those fades. Like the highest spin shot I saw in there was 33.9, but that was a 16.4 degree launch. Actually the ball speed was okay, and I didn't hit it great. It was a 147 smash, so not horrible, but it was definitely the furthest right. It went 115 feet in the air. So in that one, the club path was 10-4. So, I mean, that was kind of, definitely, one of the worst balls, but it definitely, like I said, wasn't there to square it. But in terms of movement, definitely notice on the bad shots, you saw a little bit more movement for me, more to the right on this one, than to the left. But missed shots on this definitely moved a little bit more than the Max did. Just not quite as stable. And I think that's just the way, the way it's designed for those players who do want to kind of, hit their shot shape or maybe hit a couple different shot shapes. This is going to give that option. The ball speed on it, though, was really, really good. The ball speed on it was actually just slower than the Triple Diamond Max. It was at 148.6, so about a mile an hour, slower. But I think, that they're just, the quality of strikes on this one, just slightly worse. So on this one, carry 242.6, so a yard longer for whatever reason. But the spin 28.92 is my average, so almost 300 RPM more than the Triple Diamond Max. Ball speed 148.6, and then launch 13 degrees, so a little bit higher. Again, 10.5 head to 9 degree head. I think, if you compared 10.5s to 10.5s, the Max would probably launch a little bit higher. And a 98 foot apex for this one, and a 147 smash on this one in terms of average. But yeah, spin definitely a little bit higher. I didn't have anything in the super low twos. 25.85 was the lowest spin number I had there, and that was probably it was 25.85 and a 26.72 were the two of the balls that basically landed on the straight line or just left of it. I mean, it was just, there were no shots there. Those were low, and then everything else a little bit higher in the 26s, 28s, and then I got a couple balls in the 31.45, 31.12. Those type of shots out there that went definitely right. So Definitely, I think I think it definitely is a low spin head. It's just not me hitting a lot of fades with it. Of course, that's going to be a higher spin shot. But in terms of stability and consistency, the ball speed number is super consistent. The carry number was actually pretty consistent. Everything was pretty consistent. I mean, the only thing that wasn't was kind of spin, only because hitting balls out to the right and then hitting a couple kind of straight. They just kind of had that number jump around a little bit more. But overall, it's kind of a unique driver. I definitely want to try with a different shaft and see, and then I might set it to like something where it's a little more upright and see if that kind of helps bring that ball back a little bit. But overall, I think it's a really good driver. I think a lot of people will find it does what it's supposed to do. But I think it's a good driver. I think it was long. I thought it was it looks good. It's long, all that. I didn't hit it as much of a draw as I should in terms of what it's described as. So again, showing you that you need to go hit stuff for yourself because you don't know what's going to happen when you actually hit it. But so those are the numbers there. Like I said, between the two, my Triple Diamond Max spun a little less, launched just a smidge lower, and ball speed wise, they were within a mile an hour each other. And same with yardage, they were just really, really close. The tour draw for me, a little bit more fade. The Max, a little bit more straight to draw, which was not what I expected at all. But both really, really solid. I think if you're looking for those kind of in-betweener, those pieces that kind of fit a specific part of your game, either one of these could fit it really, really well. They're really good performing drivers for what they do. And again, you got to hit them to see kind of what they do for you. But that's kind of what I saw out of both of these drivers. So that's the Elyte Triple Diamond Max and Elyte Triple Diamond Tour Draw. If you want to check out more on those things, go to CallawayGolf.com. They've got everything kind of listed there for all the specs and everything like that. I believe the Triple Diamond TD, the Tour Draw, is going to be a little bit harder to get. I don't think they're making as many of them, where the Triple Diamond Max this year, I think Jacob said is going to be more available and kind of like in the line. So if you're looking for a Triple Diamond Tour Draw, definitely make sure you go out and try it and see if it fits and get one in your hands, because it may not there may not be 1,000 of them or 1,000,000 of them out there. So check those out, see how they go, and that's my talk for the Elyte Triple Diamonds. And then for next week we've got some what's in the bag. I've been putting it together. I'm really debating on a few things. I think wedges, are just going to stay with my typical gamer wedges, but I don't know. Like, that's the thing. So like I said, I'm either going to go gamer stuff. Which driver I haven't figured out yet. I don't know what driver wise, but my one thought is I'm going to go super forgiving. So I go like G440 Max, do something like maybe the standard Elyte Elyte 3-wood, and then go into iron wise like Ping I230s and play something kind of more forgiving, or maybe even the Cobra King Tex, the hollow bodies, but play something more forgiving and do that. Or do I go kind of, something more gamerish and play like, the Cobra 3DP Tours? I think driver-wise, will maybe be Ping G430 LST at that point. I'm going to hit that pretty well. So I don't know. Do I do gamer? Do I do more improvement or more forgiving? If I go more forgiving, wedge probably isn't going to change. That's the thing. So I've got the Mizuno 5660, the new T1s, so I could play those. I've got a 56 and a 60 in the new Cobras as well. So I've got a bunch of wedges that I haven't played yet because I'm waiting to go outside to like actually hit wedges. So we'll see. Maybe I'll go wedges. I have the Cleveland RTZs. So any of those might make it in the bag as well. It's just tough. So I'm going, there. I think I can rule out. I'm probably not going to play the Blueprint S's or any kind of like the forged cavity backs for the first night. It's going to be cold. I'll probably go something more forgiving, a little bit easier on the hands. The Muros will probably stay in the bag this week, or stay out of the bag this week. But something, but then I could go P770, I could go Thai Fusion. Those will all be ones that are easier to hit. But driver's going to be the interesting one. I don't know where I'm going to go there. I'll probably go one of the Pings just to start out, maybe 440 Max and just start out easy, try to something, a little bit easier to hit. And then for 3-wood, I don't know. I mean, Elyte Thai is kind of leading the path there in terms of what I've hit the best. It's just got great ball speed. It gets up in the air, just goes, and it's a little bigger footprint, so it's pretty forgiving. So all that with the Elyte tie has just been really, really good. So could go with that. That is probably leading the way. The other one that I definitely want to get out there is the QI35, just the standard one. Hit that pretty solid lately, and I think again you get a little bit of forgiveness there. Something that's easy to hit. I don't hit a lot of 3-woods, especially we're playing the front nine at St. Clair Shores. The course I play is so overall. If you haven't listened to the show before or whatever, or didn't listen, previously, I played this little municipal course called it's called St. Clair Shores golf course, and it's a short little place. It's tucked in between a highway and residential area, and it's pretty short. There's nothing crazy. I mean, the front nine I don't hit driver except for once. The only time I hit drivers on the 8th hole. The back nine hit it a little bit more on like maybe 10, 13, 16, 17. So I hit it a few more times, but it's short. So you can hit a lot of 3-woods, a lot of hybrids off the tee. So driver is never as much of a concern for me out there. But 3-wood wise, I hit a few 3-woods, hit a decent amount of hybrids off the tee, and then even a couple pretty much hybrids. I don't really hit too many irons other than par threes, just because you can hit it a little further down than an iron than I can hit an iron. So shorter, but there is some water there. You can get into some trouble. You can hit some spots. You can hit it into the freeway on a handful of holes. So there's a bunch of kind of OB that's out there that's sneaky. But if you hit it decent and hit it straight, you're going to play okay. The greens will probably be a little slow. Putter wise, that's the other one interesting. Like, do I start out with the gamer, which I think is going to be the Betnardy Queen Bee? But you're going in with a bad putting day because you haven't putted much. You don't know what the greens are going to be like. So do I bring a different putter? And that way, if there's no confidence in it, I don't care, and it kind of goes back into the rotation. I don't want to knock confidence out of the gamer right out of the gate. So I might go with something different. Interesting enough, I don't know. I might go. I've got a couple zero torque putters. I might go with one of those just to start off and see how things go. So there's my kind of dilemma there. As the week progresses, I'll kind of piece it here and there and see what's going to look like. But driver wise, it's probably going to be one of the pings. I would think maybe Elite X, but I've already hit that on the course, so I want to hit something different. And then 3-wood will probably be Elite tie, or maybe it'll be the QI35 standard model. Hybrid, that's another interesting one. I really like with the new QI35 Rescue. I like the new Elite. It looks really good. I've got those both in 4s. Those will kind of go to battle with my PXG Black Ops 4 Hybrid. So 4 Hybrid, we'll see where it's at. But those two will definitely be challenging it. I have a G440 Hybrid as well. I haven't hit that thing near as well indoors yet, though. I haven't struck it as well as I thought I would. I thought I was really going to love that, and it just kind of hasn't been my thing yet. And then 7-wood, I don't know. G440 is taking the lead. G440 is the lead on that. I just took the same shaft, the Fujikura Ventus TR8 stiff, just took it out of the 430, put it in the 440. Seems to be working really well. When I kind of did a little bit of a 3-wood shootout the last time I was in the at the simulator or at the TrackMan indoor TrackMan place. And the G440 is still the best, but the TaylorMade QI35 Tour is creeping up there as second. It's right behind it. And then I hit the Elite Triple Diamond 7-wood really well when I went down to Florida at the end of February. So I don't know. That one there, G440 will probably be in the bag just because, why not? That's, again, a club I don't hit a ton. We're playing the front nine. I probably hit it on the 3rd hole, and that's about it. Maybe the par 5, depending on the drive, but that par 5 is long enough where probably need 3-wood to get there instead of 7. So maybe he has one shot in it, and that would be about it. But 7-wood will probably be one of those. It'll probably be G440 Max, but it might be the TaylorMade. And then iron wise, the 3DP tours will probably leave out this week, and I'll probably go something hollow body just to take a little sting out from it being chilly and all that. So I'll probably play either the P770s, which I haven't played in a while, or maybe I'll play the Cobra King Techs and see how those go. So those kind of where my head's at with some what's in the bag stuff. I'll get it closer. Next week's show will be what's in the bag. I will break down everything that's going in the bag and why, shafts, heads, all that. So we'll break down the whole thing, and I'm excited to go play. So that's it. I rambled on too long. You guys go enjoy the Masters, and yeah, we'll talk next week.